That's crazy.
What is up, peoples of YouTube? I'm the Motorcycle Maker, and today we are looking at what exhaust style is right for your Milwaukee 8 Softail. And I'm gonna go through some of the mufflers too, or I guess exhaust systems too, so that we have kind of an idea. I'm gonna throw out some names so you can do your own research on them. The reason I don't want to say any specific exhaust, which screw it, I'm gonna break my own rule. I like tab performance for slip-ons for sound and everything, and versatility because they have all these different baffles you can put into it. So if you don't like one, you can always get a different one. Or circumstances change where you have to have a quieter exhaust. By the way, I don't make any money from these things, so my personal opinion, I've made videos about it. I love my zombie baffles. They sound great for a slip-on exhaust. But before I get too far on that, if you are new to this channel and watching for a very long time, hit that subscribe button down below. I upload new videos every Tuesday around 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I do a live stream with guests every Thursday. And that live stream, I mean, you can be part of it. If you think you have something you want to talk about, bring it on the show. We'll talk about it, have a conversation. I love doing that stuff. It's fun as hell for me. But going back into the exhaust, I think we need to start really at the first place of where this is going. So you just bought your brand new bike. Obviously, looking for a new exhaust for that bike. That Harley one that comes on there, the factory one wasn't cutting it, and those Screaming Eagle street cannons really don't add any power or any benefit. A good exhaust or mufflers is essential to when you start doing your stage 1 kit. I guess your full stage 1 kit where you're adding your tuner and you're adding your intake on there. Having the right mufflers for what you want and how they work is very important. So let's really start from what you're going to want to be looking at in your riding style. If you are a person that's more along the lines of the touring aspect and you don't care how loud your bike is or anything like that, you're going to want to go with like a slip-on muffler. They're simple. They slip on. You can really get the tone down to where you want to just based off of research online or YouTube. I mean, we're on the biggest search engine in the world. I guess second to Google, but YouTube's owned by Google, so technically. So if you are just looking for a sound aspect of it, and you do get some performance out of having your exhaust put on there with the stage 1. So don't get that wrong. Putting mufflers on, just slip on mufflers in a stage 1, will gain you some power. The problem is that most of the mufflers that you're going to get on there are still using your standard heads. But we'll get into that in a second. So going back to like your mufflers, your slip-ons, you have tab performance, you got Vance & Hines, you got Reinhardt's got some, you got S&S, you got Cobra. They're all great exhaust quality and build and everything like that. It's something you have to do research on yourself. What tone you want for your bike, what sound you're going to live with when you're riding the bike, when it's under throttle, when it's not, when you're just cruising. Look at the exhaust for what you want to use, because the last thing you want to do is get an exhaust that's super loud and you like the touring aspect of it, so you kind of lose out on that, or you get one that's super quiet that doesn't work. Some examples off the top of my head for that are, like I said, the tab performance zombie baffles. S&S has Grand Nationals, and those are also EPA compliant. Something to think about when you do change the mufflers on our bike. I know as I jump on another little tangent on this, but it's the fact that our catalyst system is in the actual muffler. So when you have your catalyst system in the muffler, then you have to deal with EPA regulations. If you live in a state that has to worry about it, yes. If you don't, honestly, Harley's not going to void your warranty over mufflers because it's going to take them too much money and effort to actually prove that's what caused a failure or catastrophic failure on the bike. Getting most mufflers, they're going to have no catalyst in them, so you're going to be paying a lot less. That's why the Grand Nationals are more expensive compared to other pipes like the Vance & Hines slash cuts or the oval ones. They have Cobra Neighbor Haters, Tab Zombies. I mean, Reinhardt really doesn't name their mufflers, so it's kind of hard to really call them. Arlen Ness also does have some exhaust for it, but that's gonna be bad. So Arlen Ness is MagnaFlow. So I think Arlen Ness is just like their motorcycle side of it. That's gonna be for the person that's just like a stage 1 on the bike, ready to go, jump and ride. If you want to get past that, something that's very helpful is to know which way you want to go with full exhaust system. With our bikes, there's no power crossover or anything like that. Like you get the full header system for the touring models. With our bikes, you got to look at the pipes themselves. Now there's something called a 2-in-2 exhaust, and then there's 2-in-1s. 2-in-2 exhaust, really that I could really name off easily, are like your Vance & Hines big radius or your Vance & Hines short shots. Those are solid pipes. There's one piece bolts on there. They have their own mount and everything. And those are good because you do get a little bit better flow. You know, the pipes are designed for flowing better than the factory ones. With those new pipes, I'm not really 100% sure. They work just like the ones I had on my Sportster. They're going to use basically the same exhaust donut that your exhaust has currently. So that's just going to fit in there. But something to think about too is, through my research and what time I've spent, is I love my Tab Performance Zombie baffles, but for drag racing, when I do my drag racing, I needed something that's going to give me more power. And it's not because the mufflers from Tab Performance are bad, it's the fact that the factory heads flow a lot more air than the head pipes can actually move. This is how big the exhaust port is that your exhaust is going out of on your Milwaukee 8. So you got your donut gasket around it, you got your piece that fits in there, and it's great for manufacturing on a massive scale because it's easy to tighten up. Well, the actual inlet or exhaust outlet on that is like this big. So what that Circle One originally did was beveled it down to a certain size so that you're actually getting some back pressure when it's coming out. Like, it's basically squeezing the pipe, hot air through the pipe and out to a smaller gap, because like that exhaust pipe that's in there that might be 1.25 inches goes down to like 1 inch to attach to the mufflers. What that means is all those hot gases that your motor's trying to force out has to force it out even smaller at the end of it. What happens is all that air is trying to pass through there, and instead of expanding, being free, it forces its way and you start getting your motor running bad. Then you go into like exhaust systems. So if that's not really fitting your cup of tea, then you go into exhaust systems like 2-in-1s. And what 2-in-1 is it takes both pipes, runs them into a single pipe. So when that meets in that collector, what actually happens is it helps your motor run easier. Most of these 2-in-1s are gonna be running bigger pipes. So instead of having that restriction, it's gonna use a different gasket, so a different donut gasket in your exhaust that's gonna be the same size as the exhaust port. And these exhausts are gonna bolt right up to the size of that exhaust port. Along with these, most of them are stepped pipes. So what a stepped pipe is, or you actually want to maybe even pay attention to this, is a step pipe is when your exhaust leaves a certain size and then the pipe progressively gets bigger on the way out. The benefit of that is that when your exhaust exits the head, it's not working as hard to force into a small gap. And as it expands, because it's getting bigger and bigger, it helps keep the pressure out and forcing the exhaust out. Now, while forcing the exhaust out, being a 2-in-1, it actually has another benefit called scavenging. And that's where it's basically helping air being forced into the front cylinder, so your engine has to work even less hard. Now, is this a cure-all for everything? No, it's not. But that's what a 2-in-1 pipe's gonna do. Now, there's different brands of 2-in-1s. Like me personally, I'm just going over to the Dan Moto 2-in-1. I know you guys have seen on some of the live streams I've done, but I'm going with the Dan Moto 2-in-1. Once I get my bike back, if I ever do in the near future, I'm hoping I do, because of the price and the value of it. I was told it's a good muffler, which the reputable source I heard that from 100% believe. And then when I went to Dan Moto's website, they actually had them on sale from $279 down to $200. I think it was like $203 shipped to the door. So that's my value on that thing. When you get into things like Bassani's Road Rage, you get into SNS's, what do they call that? The Super Street, I believe. The Reinhardt 2-in-1. You got Two Brothers. I mean, there's many different ones. I just wanted to go with something that was best value, and all those ones I named right there are all, I mean, $700-800 to anywhere from like up to $1,200 to $1,500. I was even talking about brands like Trask and D&D. But you have your motor working a lot less, and most of them are going to be a bigger outlet, so it's going to help your exhaust breeze, or at least they should be. Step pipes are key for performance, because that's where you're working your engine less. To be able to less strain on the engine means more horsepower, more torques. So when you go into looking at all three exhausts, figure out your riding style, figure out if you want power a certain way. Because, I mean, most 2-in-1 pipes are going to be more for horsepower than they are torque, which they still have good torque. So it's not like it's going to drop your torque. It's not. It's just be more horsepower oriented. 2-in-2s and the 2-in-2 and the mufflers are they're gonna have their benefits depending which. I mean, every exhaust where you remove the back pressure, the catalyst, you're gonna have to tune it to make sure that your bike can compensate and give you that power back. Tune properly. Everything you're gonna add, especially when you get into 2-in-1s, you have to retune the computer. So you really want to get mufflers. You got stage 1, or work on getting a stage 1. You just don't throw some mufflers on there, especially 2-in-1 exhaust, because the bike can't really handle it. I know most people get a stage 1 on there, so if you do have a stage 1 on there, like the Screaming Eagle Super Pro Street, whatever bullshit tuner, just be cautious with the tunes. And they can void your warranty with a 2-in-1 exhaust because you're changing the head pipes. I guess if that's the one caveat. Once again, it's your choice. Make the decision. I know you can do it. Let me know about your experience with exhaust systems, if I forgot one that should be included on here, or the style or the brand. These are just kind of giving you guys ideas and like the benefits of each one, each type of exhaust, and how they can help you with your performance and everything else on your bike. And as always, I hope you have a great day, evening, night, morning, afternoon, tea, brunch, lunch, nightcap, midnight snack, crumpet, McGriddle, bacon sandwich. And remember to always ride for freedom. Goodbye.
Be a little bit manic depressive, but I ain't that much into labeling it. Ever since I was a baby in the cradle and shit, I've been harboring something demonic, and it's been getting impossible containing it. So you can call me insane and shit. Whatever, never, you gotta push internally to convince yourself that you're not the same as me. But within the world a little bit differently, little darker, little colder than in a prison. Lucifer is in my ear.